Inspiring transformation. Single dad reveals heartfelt gesture to amazing CEO in a wheelchair at. Jack woke before the sun, the low hum of the coffee maker pulling him out of a restless sleep. The shadows in his cramped kitchen offered no comfort as he packed Ethan's lunch, just the basics: ham and cheese, a juice box, and an apple. He worked tirelessly, ensuring his son had everything he needed while constantly battling the weight of his own exhaustion. As a mechanic, Jack labored hard, tightening the delicate screws of engines and dreaming of a life where he wouldn't have to worry about bills at the end of each month. He thrived on loyalty, working with pride, but the creeping challenge of a job offer from a high-powered CEO threatened to upend everything he believed in. Dropping Ethan off at school today felt different. In the morning haze, Jack caught a glimpse of Elijah, the CEO, in that slick suit, gliding up with a quiet confidence. Jack hesitated. The man exuded wealth and power from his wheelchair, an ocean apart from the rugged mechanic he himself was. Every instant in Jack told him to steer clear, to return to the familiar world of grease stains and friends at the diner, where he could teach Ethan values they cherished. Yet there was something in the way Elijah's eyes scanned the world, an emptiness that echoed the isolation Jack often felt. "Hey Dad, Alex and I are working on the community garden for our science project," Ethan announced, his spirit like a burst of sunshine. Jack felt that familiar swell of pride mixed with intimidation. He only had 2 weeks to figure out his own lingering doubts. Did a mechanic belong in the world of boardrooms and investment meetings? The offer sat on his desk, tempting yet fraught with implications that left Jack questioning whether he would be abandoning his roots or blossoming into something new. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now, let's continue. As the days went on, Jack felt an uncomfortable pressure build. The boys spent time together, and Elijah often lingered around, their interactions evoking a tension that twisted in Jack's gut. Could he really accept help, or was he destined to remain at the sidelines of ambition? He found himself trapped between loyalty to his trade and fear of losing everything he stood for. When Elijah invited him to assist at the charity event, a twist of fate that proved to be a disaster waiting to happen, Jack's stomach lurched. What if his hands, once trusted in oil and metal, could not craft a way to save Elijah's reputation and his own pride? At that moment, everything crystallized. It wasn't just about fixing machinery, it was about stepping into the unknown, where the lines blurred between friendship and ambition. Jack stood on a precipice. Should he dive in and help Elijah, risking the very identity he had fought to forge? As he looked at Elijah, a tiny flicker of vulnerability lay beneath the surface, subtly entangled in his own questions of self-worth. Jack's heart raced with the knowledge that the choice ahead wouldn't just change his world, but potentially redefine their existence altogether. With the impending crisis looming, Jack felt the urgency wrap around him like a vice, tightening with each fleeting thought. Was it time to forge a bond that could transcend their different worlds? Or was he simply about to lose everything that mattered most? What awaited him on the other side of this decision lingered in the air, heavy, uncertain, and filled with the potential for everything to change. Jack stood at the threshold of his decision, watching as the world outside fell into a mundane rhythm. The sounds of the morning rushed around him, yet he felt suspended in time. While Ethan chattered about garden plans, Jack's focus shifted to the lingering scent of coffee and the familiar hum of his life. The weight of loyalty hung in the air, heavier than any tool belt he had ever worn. He recognized the stark contrast between the life of a mechanic and that of a CEO. Elijah's poised demeanor and effortless articulation were foreign to him, and Jack couldn't shake the feeling that perhaps he was too out of depth in Elijah's world. As the two boys waved goodbye, Jack turned back to the kitchen, heart pounding with doubt. Dodging the call for help was easy. The mechanics of life had their own predictable rhythm. But this new challenge, the uncharted territory of professional ambition and trust, sent tremors through his thoughts. Rising to meet Elijah's expectations felt like steering a vehicle on the brink of an engine failure. One wrong turn and everything would stall. Days stretched in front of him, a blur filled with endless decisions that felt as though they were piling on top of each other. On one hand, the prospect of growth beckoned, a light at the end of a tunnel. On the other, his roots, deeply planted in gritty reality, held him back, instilling a fear that stifled any ambition. What if Elijah's faith in him was misplaced? Jack envisioned afternoons engulfed in spreadsheets and budgets instead of invaluable time spent with Ethan. Eventually, that familiar, nameless anxiety found its way into Jack's dreams, weaving nebulous fears into restless nights. He started to question not only his capabilities, but the importance of stepping beyond the safety of his trade. One evening, when the weight of choice felt intolerable, he picked up Elijah's business card resting on the cluttered table. Each letter on the card felt like a challenge, a doorway into a world he had long rejected. With a fiery resolve, he decided it was now or never. He needed to confront Elijah, to dismantle the tangled web of expectation and fear. He wanted to express his reservations, share the fear of losing who he was as a mechanic. But deep down, Jack understood this fear too was a guardian, trying to protect him from failure that loomed like a storm cloud on the horizon. As he stepped out of the front door, Jack felt the cold breeze touch his skin, settling an unfamiliar sense of determination within him. This wasn't just about the charity event or supporting Elijah. It was about Jack, an individual ready to reclaim his narrative. Each step toward Elijah felt deliberate, like he was repairing the engine of his own self-worth. Standing in front of Elijah, Jack felt the usual anxiety wash over him, but he squared his shoulders, ready to embrace the conversation. "Can we talk?" he managed, though his voice trembled slightly. Elijah turned, a time-worn understanding shining in his gaze. As they locked eyes, Jack realized he was at the cusp of uncharted territory, not just for himself, but for the relationship they both so desperately needed. However, that tension lingered, a teetering question poised on the edge of a blade. Could their worlds truly intertwine, or would this connection slip away like oil through fingers? The outcome lay shrouded in uncertainty, leaving the question spinning in Jack's mind. Was he ready to redefine his identity alongside someone like Elijah, or would this moment expose his deepest fears? Jack's heart thudded against his ribs as he stood before Elijah, each beat echoing the weight of unspoken words in the air. The moment stretched, heavy with unsaid fears and unsteadily shifting allegiances. Did he want to step into this world where success hinged on polished words and shaky trust? Part of him desperately needed to know if he could stand up to this challenge, but another part recoiled at the thought of losing the simplicity he had long enjoyed. Elijah appeared unfazed, his expression a blend of warmth and professional detachment that only made Jack's doubts swell. It felt like being in a high-pressure workshop, surrounded by the click of tools and the hum of machinery, yet facing a task that seemed beyond his mechanical prowess. Jack fought against the instinct to turn back, reminding himself that resistance could carve deeper ruts in his journey. "Jack, is everything all right?" Elijah's voice was steady, but the softness in his gaze made Jack question all that he had assumed about their dynamic. The comfort of denial beckoned, a refuge from confronting the unknown. I need to talk about your offer, Jack finally said, forcing himself to meet Elijah's discerning eyes. An affirmation, or perhaps a challenge, emerged in Elijah's stillness. I'm grateful for it, but I worry about what it means for me, for my life. Elijah nodded, the light reflecting off his wheelchair's polished surface, offering an offer.
You're not alone in this, Jack. I understand why you feel apprehensive. Change is daunting. Those words struck a chord within Jack. Accepted. Understood. The musings that swirled in his head broke apart momentarily at that connection. But what if I'm not cut out for that, for being a part of it? Jack pressed, an involuntary tremor creeping into his voice. Have you ever doubted your skills as a mechanic? Elijah asked pointedly. Jack frowned as memories flashed before him. Countless hours spent under elbow-deep in grease, troubleshooting problems, honing skill upon skill. No, of course not, he admitted, surprising himself with the clarity of that conviction. Then why doubt this part of yourself? Elijah asked, a challenge wrapped in genuine concern. What if this is just another engine, only this time the stakes are higher? Elijah's words burrowed beneath Jack's defenses, forcing him to confront the fear at the core of his hesitation. Could it be true? Was the discomfort simply a byproduct of growth? He envisioned the tools of his trade, a wrench, a socket, a screwdriver, all vibrantly colorful against the backdrop of his past. What if he could lean on his pragmatic skills to navigate the responsibilities of leadership? Jack took a steadying breath. I guess I haven't thought about it that way. New hope bubbled within him, but alongside it came the chilling realization that he would have to make sacrifices. The thought of less time with Ethan felt like an unwelcome pit in his stomach. Was he ready for that? Would it just be an engine waiting to fail again? Jack, Elijah's voice broke through his spiraling train of thought. Nothing this worthwhile comes without a trade-off. I see great potential in you. It's up to you to tap into it. Will you take that leap? The question hung in the air, tantalizing and terrifying all at once. Could he offer his son a life of ambition, or would this decision mean sacrificing their bond? As Jack met Elijah's gaze, a mix of challenge and confidence, he understood that discovering his true self could mean reshaping who he had always believed he was. Jack opened his mouth, intent on responding, but hesitating as more questions flooded in, undermining his newfound resolve. Would he emerge stronger, or would the pressure of this decision crush him beneath unyielding expectations? As his thoughts raced, he felt momentum building within him, a fragile infusion of hope intertwined with the dense cords of his deeply ingrained fears. So, how do we begin? He finally asked, steeling himself for the unknown that beckoned. Elijah smiled, a small, affirming gesture that hinted at paths yet uncharted. Let's explore what you're capable of. You're already well on your way. But Jack sensed that the journey was only starting. The real challenge loomed ahead, intricately woven with the threads of expectations, fears, and uncharted potential. The question remained, would he be willing to repair not only the machinery of his own identity, but also the delicate balance of fatherhood and ambition? Moment of truth, unnerving and drawn out, lay just around the corner, teasing Jack with the promise of transformation that could alter his entire life narrative. Jack watched as Elijah's expression shifted from professional detachment to a spark of enthusiasm. Suddenly, the uncertainties that had momentarily clouded Jack's thoughts transformed into a flicker of determination. His hands instinctively clenched into fists, grounding him. This was it. A chance to redefine not only his career, but also his place in Ethan's life. Let's start small, Elijah suggested, settling into a rhythm of guidance that proved reassuring.
What are some immediate skills you can focus on to build your confidence? Jack's mind raced through a mental checklist of his abilities. He didn't want to appear naive, yet he felt the urge to articulate his vision. I'm handy with organizing tools and equipment. I fix problems, but I've never really thought about fixing situations. Precisely, Elijah interjected, a hint of excitement lacing his tone. Think of your mechanical skills as a metaphor. Whether it's repairing an engine or navigating the intricacies of human dynamics, both require a nuanced understanding. You can translate what you know into a leadership approach. Jack took a moment to absorb this revelation. Each cog in his mind began to turn, insights rattling into place with time-tested precision. His role as a father entwined with his aspiration to become something more. He had salvaged many broken machines, had he not? Why not extend that capability toward his own future? Leadership is just problem-solving on a larger scale, Elijah continued. Let's find a way to approach a challenge at work that aligns with your strengths. What's upcoming in your current role? Jack thought about the mechanical shop, the staff he worked alongside, and their respective struggles. Suddenly, an idea sparked. We have a project coming up where we need to reevaluate our workflow. If I could bring the team together to brainstorm improvements, I could use that opportunity to practice some of these leadership skills. Excellent! Elijah's voice rang with approval. You'll get to engage with your team while building your own confidence. This is your chance to test those waters and strategize. Jack nodded, the adrenaline coursing through him like oil through the veins of a newly refurbished engine. I have some ideas about gathering feedback, boosting morale. We haven't really utilized everyone's strengths. It might help. Exactly. It's about communication. Opening those channels can make a world of difference. But, he leaned forward slightly, don't forget, you'll have to confront resistance too. As the reality of Elijah's words sunk in, Jack felt a tightening in his chest. He had experienced resistance before when changing long-standing procedures. Some members of the team would certainly resist a new approach. Yet, this feeling of internal conflict pushed him further along the path of growth. Confrontation transformed from a daunting adversary into an essential component of his development. Face it head on. Make a plan for handling objections, Elijah advised, his tone both. People may not be used to someone like you stepping up. Use that to your advantage. Jack swallowed hard. The weight of potential conflict loomed large. But as unease washed over him, he couldn't ignore how lightly hope flitted through the dense air of doubt. This was his moment to reshape his reality. I want to do this, Jack finally affirmed, his voice steadied. Then let's map out your approach, Elijah replied, fingers dancing effortlessly over his laptop as he prepared to guide Jack through the steps. As they delved into specific strategies, Jack felt the earlier concoction of fear and excitement begin to settle into something grounded. There was a burgeoning sense of agency, a realization that he could mold his circumstances rather than be molded by them. But as they strategized, Jack's mind flickered to Ethan. His son's smiling face began to dance in and out of focus like a refrain. What would this mean for their time? The looming sacrifices pressed down heavier than ever. The question of balance wove itself into their plans, intertwining Jack's aspirations with the core of his fatherly devotion. Could he nurture his ambition without overshadowing his role as a dad? He turned back to Elijah, who was still focused on the screen, weaving numbers and ideas into a tapestry of actionable steps. Can this all work with my schedule? I don't want Ethan to feel neglected. Elijah paused, glancing up. You'll have to find that balance. It won't be easy. However, if you can manage your time wisely, you can give Ethan the best of both worlds, the steady hand of a father and the ambition of a man stepping into his potential. Jack inhaled, the mixture of anxiety and eagerness swirling in his chest. He turned back to the plan in front of him, ready to take that first step into a world where growth didn't mean sacrificing his bond with Ethan. The clock ticked steadily, marking time as he sat on the brink of an avalanche, a new reality, drenched in uncertainty, yet full of promise. As they wrapped up the plans, Jack felt a cautious thrill coursing through him. This was merely the beginning. He realized then that each challenge he faced would bring with it a chance to redefine himself and reshape his life's narrative. But lurking just beneath this newfound determination was a nagging whisper. What if, beneath all the ambitions and aspirations, he was still missing something crucial? The horizon held uncertainty, tantalizing yet elusive. Jack's heart tightened with the realization that the road ahead was through uncharted territory, teeming with the potential to either fulfill his hopes or expose the fractures within. What awaited him as he stepped into this realm of duality? The steady ascent towards his dreams and the fight to maintain his family's bond. Jack left the cafe filled with a mixture of exhilaration and dread. The ideas he crafted with Elijah buzzed in his mind like a swarm of ants, eager to find direction. How to begin?
How to inspire his team amid doubts and uncertainties. He relished his new commitment, but battled the dread of failure lurking in the corners of his resolve. As he walked towards his car, Jack caught a glimpse of his reflection in a shop window. The familiar lines of worry carved into his forehead were now juxtaposed by a glint of determination in his eyes. He was not just a mechanic, but a man trying to step into a role that demanded more. This newfound responsibility felt like strapping himself to a roller coaster, a thrill that made his heart race while simultaneously testing his stomach's resolve. He climbed into the driver's seat, flicking on the ignition. The engine roared to life, a comforting sound that juxtaposed the chaos in his mind. Thoughts of Ethan suddenly swept over him again. Would he understand why his father was working late? Would he feel abandoned in the pursuit of their shared dreams? Jack shook his head, attempting to dispel the clouds shrouding his determination. Arriving at the shop, he felt the gravity of the task looming ahead. A team of capable individuals awaited him, yet he sensed the invisible weight of their skepticism. Jack mentally reviewed the strategies he and Elijah outlined, determining to draw upon their skills and creativity. He gathered everyone in the break room, memories of earlier days when he simply went through the motions flooding back. Today had to be different. It had to mark a pivot point. As the group settled, Jack's voice wavered initially. "Hey, everyone, thanks for gathering. I have some thoughts about how we can improve our workflow and have a better working dynamic." He paused, gauging their reactions, a mix of curiosity and boredom before them. "I believe each of you has unique skills that we haven't fully tapped into." The questions buzzed like insects, a murmur of disbelief rippling through the group. Jack felt the challenge rising, not just from his coworkers, but from within himself. He pressed on, weaving in stories of past collaborations that had yielded great results. "We recently faced a tough situation, remember? It was the team ethic that saw us through. What do you think we could change to enhance our productivity?" Loud voices rose, some dismissive, others skeptical. Yet Jack found a flicker of tenacity igniting in him. "I'm not here to disrupt your routine," he insisted, raising his voice just enough to command attention. "I want to create an environment where we can all thrive and play to each other's strengths." Though the atmosphere crackled with resistance, Jack felt a sense of purpose anchoring him. "Let's take 10 minutes to brainstorm. What are your ideas on improving our workflow?" A few heads turned down, scribbling notes, while others remained locked in their shells. He sensed the eyes that scrutinized, wondering if he, the shop's quieter technician, could lead. But rather than shrink further, Jack felt his confidence alight. His passion could light the way, casting shadows on the doubts scattered amidst his colleagues. As he navigated through the feedback,
Suggestions poured out, some wild, others practical. Their responses buzzed with potential. Jack encouraged every voice in the room, reminding himself not to dismiss the timid or the bold. In those moments of engagement, he understood. He was both a facilitator and a learner. The discussion shifted toward logistics, and Jack noticed one of the newer members hesitating. A glance of concern flashed across her face as she brought up a system bottleneck. "It's a dead end," she admitted, her voice dull as her eyes dropped. In that instant, Jack felt a pang of recognition. He had stood at the same crossroads countless times in his life. Gripping the edge of the table, he leaned into her uncertainty. "No, it's an opportunity. What if we turned that bottleneck into a stream? How do we redirect our focus? Ideas can flow even from obstacles." Gradually, heads bobbed as the shift in perspective took root. Anxiety morphed into creativity, and Jack sensed their cohesion slowly build as they began to map potential changes. Driving the conversation, he realized he was not just fixing machines. He was learning to mend connections, to weave collaboration from uncertainty. The initial risk melted away, replaced by an unmistakable realization of shared accountability. After the meeting, energized and exhausted, Jack felt the gentle pull of home beckoning. He had faced opposition and transformed it into dialogue, outfitting his team with hope and enthusiasm. Yet the balancing act still weighed on his mind. What price might he pay to maintain this newfound prominence? As he drove, uncertain shadows of self-doubt whispered reminders of his precarious position. Yet beneath it lay a glimmer of hope. He savored understanding that his journey was not solitary. Behind every decision were the silent, imploring faces of his team and his son. The acknowledgement left him electrified. But as he turned into his driveway, another level of thought pierced through his excitement. What further challenges lay ahead? Could he truly balance the ambition of leadership with the responsibilities of parenthood? In forging this new path, Jack sensed that looming specters of doubt beckoned for deeper confrontation, steering him towards something he couldn't ignore. What had the willingness to change unleashed within him that he had yet to uncover? Jack stepped into his home, the quietness feeling almost overwhelming after the charged atmosphere of the shop. The weight of responsibility pulsed through him like an electric current, igniting both excitement and fear. He glanced around, taking in the pictures adorning the walls. Snapshots of happier times with Ethan, memories that sparked warmth, but also invoked absence. "Dad?" Ethan's voice echoed from the living room, pulling him out of his reverie. Jack took a breath, shifting gears. His role as a father, despite the turmoil that came with leading at work, was often grounding. "Hey buddy," he called back, moving towards the sound. Jack found Ethan sprawled on the couch, focused on a video game that flickered brightly on the screen. With a smile, Jack settled beside him, a comforting presence amid the chaos of his thoughts. After a moment, Ethan looked up, his brow furrowing with curiosity. "You're home early. How did your meeting go?" The simplicity of the question struck Jack. What he saw as monumental felt trivial to his son. "It was good. I think we're finally starting to work together as a team," he replied. Yet the words felt inadequate against the whirlwind of emotions swirling inside him. Ethan's eyes widened, teeming with genuine interest. Jack should have felt stronger, being buoyed by that curiosity. Instead, he grappled with an internal dilemma: how to channel the passion he felt at work while maintaining the relationship he valued at home. "What's a team?" Ethan asked, his innocence demanding more than Jack could offer. Jack paused, the question striking deeper. "It's when everyone helps each other to do better, like how you and your friends share ideas to win in your games," he explained, aligning it with something Ethan understood. "But it's also about trusting each other and being there when things get tough." Ethan pondered this, the flickering screen momentarily forgotten. So it's not just about winning? He ventured hesitantly. No, it's about trying and growing together, even when things are hard. Jack's heart twinged, realizing this was a lesson he needed to absorb as much as his son did. The simplicity of the conversation softened the pressure building within him. But the relief was short-lived, as thoughts of his team loomed back. Were they truly beginning to bond, or was it just a momentary spark? The fear of failure whispered once more, but he turned it over in his mind, considering the adjustments he had made after their brainstorming session. Once Ethan returned to his game, Jack couldn't shake the feeling of a reconnection, both as a father and a leader. He was learning to embrace vulnerability, sharing parts of himself that worried him. The meeting had ignited the spirit of collaboration. Perhaps he could extend that idea to his relationship with Ethan. Determined, Jack thought about the changes at work and how they could translate into his home life. Could they establish a family dynamic that mirrored the trust he was striving to cultivate with his team? What if they created a system of shared responsibilities? A weekly family meeting might be the key. Somewhere they could explore each other's ideas and fears. As the evening wore on, Jack began to methodically sketch an outline for what he envisioned for both his team and his family relationships. It struck him, this was not just about leadership, but also about learning to lead from a place of empathy. The thought energized him, a dual purpose blurring the previous divides of his life. Yet beneath the excitement was an undercurrent. He had stepped onto uncharted territory, a place where trust would need to be built anew with Ethan, while maintaining his position at the shop. What if it all came crashing down? Could he thrive? Verra.
Both worlds, or would he find himself stretched too thin? With those insecurities creeping in, Jack knew that he had to confront them directly. He resolved to put himself out there in both roles, but questions lingered. Would initiating these changes leave him exposed? What if he stumbled? The drive for transformation surged within him, but with it came the nagging sense that true growth necessitated a reckoning, a confrontation with both his fears and the barriers he had constructed around his personal life. As he lay in bed that night, the uncertainty nagged at him. Could he truly foster that sense of teamwork and belonging in both his professional and personal arenas? The ideas swiftly morphed, rising in an urgent crescendo, a combination of anxiety and anticipation. He realized he had to face the shadow that loomed over his determination, the very real possibility of failure. As he drifted off to sleep, he vowed to embrace vulnerability more than ever. But the question that burrowed beneath the surface remained. What deeper truths awaited him as he navigated this dual path of leadership and fatherhood? The following morning, sunlight spilled through the window, the gentle warmth coaxing Jack from his restless slumber. He sat up, heart pounding with the weight of possibility and uncertainty. Today was the day he would propose the family meeting concept to Ethan. After a quick breakfast, he found himself pacing the living room, rehearsing how to present his idea. Each word mattered, and each glance at Ethan reminded him of what was at stake. He wanted to show his son that they could be a team, just like he was learning to forge with his colleagues. Smoothing a hand over his hair, he finally approached Ethan, who was still on the couch, engrossed in another game. "Hey, buddy," Jack began, his heart fluttering as he tried to gauge Ethan's mood. "Can we talk about something?" Ethan paused the game, giving Jack his full attention. "Sure, Dad, what's up?" Swallowing hard, Jack settled next to him, hoping to exude a calm confidence. "I've been thinking we could have a family meeting once a week. You know, a time where we can all talk about our ideas, plans, and worries." Ethan's brow scrunched, confusion mingling with curiosity. "Like a school project?" Jack chuckled softly, appreciative of Ethan's innocence, but anxious about how to construct the explanation. "Sort of, but without the grades. It's more like a way for us to work together. You can share what's on your mind, and I can too. It could help us understand each other better." There was a pause, and Jack could feel the tension thrumming between them. He watched as Ethan considered the proposal, weighing the implications of becoming more than just father and son. "Why do we need a meeting?" Ethan asked, suddenly serious. "Can't we just talk whenever?"
Fumbling with his thoughts, Jack realized the deeper truth of Ethan's question. "We could," he admitted, "but I think sometimes having a set time to share helps us focus. It's about making sure we don't miss anything important, you know?" After a moment of silence, Ethan sighed dramatically. "Okay, I guess I can try it out. Can I choose the snacks for the meeting?" Jack couldn't suppress a laugh. "Absolutely! You're in charge of snacks." As they settled on a day for the meeting, Jack felt a surge of excitement for what this could mean for their relationship. However, as their conversation turned back to games, Jack's mind returned to the office. Could he replicate this success with his team? Would they meet his sincerity with enthusiasm, or would skepticism temper their responses? Later that day, Jack arrived at the shop, a determined glint in his eye. As he walked inside, the chatter of his team felt different, more connected, more alive than before. Seizing the moment, he summoned them to a quick huddle, the air electrified with anticipation. "Hey everyone," Jack started, hesitating only slightly. "I've been thinking about how we can improve our teamwork. I want us to start having regular meetings to exchange ideas openly." The initial reactions were mixed. Some were curious, while others exchanged doubtful glances. Slowly, though, voices rose. A few supportive comments, suggestions for topics, and a genuine excitement began to bubble up. Energized, Jack began to elaborate on the concept, sharing his experience from earlier with Ethan. That connection, that feeling of belonging, became the driving force behind his words. They needed this. He needed this. An opportunity to grow together as a unit rather than operating in isolated silos. Just then, a seasoned member of his team leaned forward, skepticism etched on their face. "Jack, with the workload we have, can we really afford to take time for meetings? Aren't we risking falling further behind?" Jack felt a knot tighten in his gut. The truth of their struggles cut deep. He had known that not everyone would be thrilled, but the confrontation didn't shake him. It ignited him. This wasn't just an administrative decision. This was personal growth. "Failing doesn't scare me," he responded firmly, realizing the challenge brought with it a chance for vulnerability. "What scares me more is staying stagnant. This is about finding ways to support one another, to push through obstacles together." As murmurs of support and skepticism shared the room, Jack confronted his fear head-on. He had opened up with Ethan, and now it was time to extend that same transparency to his colleagues. In their shared uncertainty, he glimpsed a chance for evolution. Yet, as the discussions picked up momentum, Jack couldn't shake the feeling that this was only the beginning. What if the team didn't embrace the change? What if it all fell apart under the pressure? As the meeting drew to a close, something was brewing inside him, a deep conviction that change was essential, but also the nagging doubt of what lay ahead. Could he really lead them through this? With Ethan's curiosity pushing him forward and a critical confrontation ahead, Jack felt himself teetering on the edge of transformation, both as a father and as a leader. Could he swing both the evolution in the shop and the budding partnership with his son? The moments ahead promised to be filled with tension and perhaps even revelation. And as Jack faced the uncertainty of that path, he realized one truth. The choice to lead with vulnerability lay firmly in his hands. Would he have the courage to navigate the complexities of both his roles? The challenge awaited him. Jack awoke the next morning with a resolute determination coursing through him. The faint vibrations of anxiety lingered, but he understood that discomfort was the crucible of growth. As he prepared breakfast, he reflected on his conversations with Ethan and his team. Both had been a tremendous leap into the unknown, yet that leap had crafted a new dynamic, a blend of vulnerability and strength that he had never quite grasped before. After breakfast, Jack gathered a few ideas for conversation starters for the upcoming family meeting. He wanted to ensure Ethan felt engaged, encouraged to speak up without hesitation. As he scribbled, he felt a growing sense of ownership over this initiative. It was more than just a family meeting. It was a manifesto of reconstruction for their relationship. He also began thinking about his professional responsibilities. The upcoming team meeting was less than a week away, but Jack knew this would be their biggest test yet. The idea was simple. Every voice mattered, and every opinion was valid. But presenting this notion to his seasoned colleagues would be daunting, a puzzle that involved not only strategy but emotional intelligence. Upon arriving at the shop, the familiar scent of freshly brewed coffee filled the air, a small comfort amid the growing storm of expectations. As he reviewed the tasks ahead, doubt crept into his mind again. Would they respect his vision, or would his aspirations crumble under the weight of their skepticism? Drawing a deep breath, Jack began preparations for a team meeting to address the very real concerns around productivity. He would showcase how open dialogues could enhance their output, address problems head-on, and cultivate a more collaborative work environment. But beyond numbers and productivity, he needed to convey the emotional significance of connection. "Hey, can I grab everyone for a minute?" Jack's voice resonated with newfound authority. His colleagues turned, some visibly tired from a long week, others quizzical about what was brewing behind Jack's steady gaze. "I want to build on last week's conversation about our meetings," he said, steadying himself against the counter as he sensed the room's charged energy. "I get that we're under pressure right now, but I believe this is precisely why we need to talk openly about our workloads and challenges. Let's consider our struggles as a team rather than isolated battles." A ripple of murmurs swept through the crowd. Jack sensed their apprehension. "What exactly do you have in mind?" "More meetings seem unnecessary to some of us," a voice called from the back. Jack knew that it was time not just to defend the initiative, but to share the inspiration behind it. "I've seen this work before and even experienced the benefits with my son. Just communication can become the bridge to understanding and problem solving. I want us to be able to articulate what's on our minds without fear of repercussions." He felt the air grow thick. The room was awash with a mixture of intrigue and skepticism. Silence held sway until one enthusiastic yet apprehensive team member raised a hand. "But what if we just end up solving the wrong problems? Time is valuable, and we shouldn't waste it on fluff talk." Jack nodded, acknowledging the concern. "That's a concern I share," he admitted, feeling his pulse quicken. "So let's make it productive. We can each bring an issue to the table, and we'll delve into notational methods to simplify them, prioritizing our paths forward." As the team members began to engage in a spirited discussion, Jack found himself narrowing the focus on different strategies to formulate actionable solutions. He was struck with the realization that facilitating these meetings would require him to also embody the principles of active listening and empathy, an ongoing cascade of internal growth as much as professional. The tension began to dissipate. The conversation shifted from reluctance to active brainstorming. Jack could see them leaning into their roles as partners in this endeavor, just as he had hoped. Yet in that same breath, doubt stirred within him. Was he truly ready to handle stronger personalities, to mediate their discussions? In this newfound dynamic, Jack felt a surge of kinship with his son's meeting concept, how their voices were gaining power when shared. Each positive interaction momentarily quelled his insecurities, but he knew that the real test lay ahead. As the session wrapped up, Jack couldn't shake the feeling that while they had made strides, something deeper awaited exploration. Elements of unresolved tension that hadn't surfaced yet. What were they avoiding? Feeling both the thrill of potential and the weight of responsibility settle into his chest, Jack returned home, a myriad of possibilities weaving through his thoughts. What new layers would this meeting peel back? And how would he confront them while nurturing his growth as both a father and a leader? The silence that followed him felt pregnant with anticipation, each quiet moment a prelude to the real breakthrough awaiting him. As the door shut behind him, Jack could practically feel the weight of what lay ahead pressing in, decisions to confront that housed both risk and promise. Would he find the clarity to face whatever challenges emerged, both at the shop and at home. The next morning cast a soft light over Jack's kitchen, illuminating the remnants of last night's contemplations. A sense of urgency tinged his thoughts. He had a family meeting in a few hours and a pivotal team meeting the next day. It felt like the weight of two worlds pressing upon him. As he brewed coffee, he visualized Ethan's face, how he had been opening up during their recent conversations. This was more than just a family meeting. It was a chance to form a new foundation, to redefine not only their dynamic, but also what it meant to be a father in Ethan's eyes. The prospect of sharing his own vulnerabilities was daunting, yet thrilling. Could he show Ethan the value of honesty and openness in relationships? Determined to set the right tone, Jack reviewed his notes for both meetings, ensuring they echoed the themes of connection and understanding. However, as the clock ticked closer to his family meeting, anxiety bubbled. What if the topics he chose failed to resonate with Ethan? What if he inadvertently pushed him away instead of drawing him closer? Jack took a moment to ground himself. Those fears were echoes of his past, a time when he had felt disconnected and alone. He needed to demonstrate that vulnerability was a strength, not a weakness. Arriving at the table, he cleared his throat, nudging away the shyness that threatened to creep in. "Hey, bud," he started, his voice steady but warm. "I wanted to talk about some things that have been on my mind lately. You know you can always share with me too, right?" Ethan looked up from his cereal, curious but cautious. "Sure, Dad, what's up?" Taking a deep breath, Jack shared his struggles with managing work and home life, detailing how he often felt overwhelmed and how, in the past, he'd bottled up emotions instead of navigating them. To his surprise, Ethan listened intently, his brow furrowing with understanding rather than judgment. "Sometimes I feel like I'm not doing enough, like maybe I'm missing out on something crucial in your life," Jack admitted, the honesty hanging in the air between them. Ethan's response came slowly, each word measured. "I get that. Sometimes I worry that I'm not being a good son. But when we talk, it helps." A wave of warmth spread through Jack's chest. Their conversation wasn't just a routine. It was an exchange of trust, transforming their relationship. They began brainstorming ways Ethan could express what was important to him, what he dreamed about, what he feared. Suddenly, the minor concerns of his team meeting rushed to the forefront of Jack's mind. He realized that this practice of open dialogue could translate directly to his workplace. If he could create a space where Ethan felt heard, perhaps he could do the same for his colleagues. After their meaningful discussion, Jack felt invigorated, yet anxious for the looming meeting at work. Would it yield the same kind of openness? Transforming dynamics were fragile and required careful nurturing. How could he address some of the personalities who had resisted change without losing momentum? As the hours passed, Jack found himself at the shop, feeling the hum of anticipation. His colleagues gathered, a mix of skepticism and curiosity coloring their faces. Drawing upon the intimacy fostered with Ethan, he summoned a new depth of empathy as he stepped into the meeting. "I know I've asked a lot from all
"You," he began, shifting the focus from tasks to the team's voice. "But I want to create a space where tackling challenges involves all of us, where we can hear each other out, not just discuss goals, but what we're feeling too." A wave of hesitance washed over the room again. Jack leaned in, willing to confront whatever came up. "I know it's tough," he said, honoring their uncertainty, "but this is about us growing together." For a moment, Jack's heart raced with the weight of vulnerability. As conversations ignited among the team, he felt the same spirit that had emerged with Ethan. They wrestled with deeper issues, frustrations, fears, aspirations, posing a challenge he hadn't anticipated. And somewhere in this dynamic, Jack unearthed a truth that caught him off guard. While he directed the discussions, guiding the flow, he was learning. The blend of authentic leadership and shared vulnerability was reshaping not just the atmosphere in the shop, but also how he perceived his capacity to lead.
Yet, just when everything seemed to align, a stronger personality, one who had previously dismissed Jack's ideas, interjected with sharp criticism. "This is all just talk. It feels like we're dancing around real problems." In that instant, the air thickened, and Jack found himself at a crossroads. Would he retreat into insecurity or confront the challenge head-on? The moment had come. How would he navigate this confrontation? Jack's mind raced. Would he stand firm against skepticism, or would these challenges break the strides he had just begun to build? The answers lurked beyond the immediate confrontation, waiting to reveal further depths of his journey as a leader and a father. Jack stood before the team. The wave of discomfort that washed over him transformed into an anchor of resilience. The disbelief and skepticism hanging in the air mirrored the apprehension he had felt prior to this journey. This was not merely about holding a meeting, it was about creating a paradigm shift in both his professional and personal life. "Let's tackle the real problems together," he asserted, channeling conviction into his voice. "I know it may feel like empty words, but consider what we've previously overcome when we functioned together. If we fail to engage now, we risk stalling any progress." He sensed a shift. The team was listening. Their guarded expressions began to soften, and for the first time, Jack saw the flicker of realization in their eyes. They were all in this together, facing the same challenges, the same fears. After that moment of courage, ideas began to flow like oil through an engine. Thoughts on productivity, suggestions for better communication, and discussions about taking collective ownership of their shared goals. The resistance that once thrived in the room faded away, replaced by a communal spirit. Jack felt adopted into a newfound camaraderie, a vital component in transforming mere colleagues into an effective team. Gradually, excitement unfolded in the room as every member began to contribute. Jack orchestrated the dialogue with confidence, actively acknowledging each person who spoke, weaving together the disparate threads of thoughts into a cohesive plan. Several concepts crystallized from the discussions, revitalizing their workflow and strategies, incremental improvements he once thought would be impossible. After the meeting, Jack left the shop, a surge of elation punctuating his step. He wasn't just a mechanic. He had proven himself a leader who could bridge the gap between apprehension and trust. The proud smile of accomplishment appeared unforced, an organic mingling of joy and relief as he headed home. "Dad, how was work?" Ethan chirped as he headed toward the dinner table. Jack could barely contain his excitement. "It was incredible. We really connected as a team today," he shared. "Did you have snacks?" Ethan pressed, a cheeky grin replacing the seriousness. Jack chuckled, feeling that familiar warmth flood through him. "No snacks this time. Maybe we can share a treat during our family meeting this week." The boy's eyes brightened with enthusiasm, their prior commitment soon to unfold. Later that night, while tucking Ethan into bed, Jack reflected on the dual victories: the professional triumph igniting a profound shift in confidence, and the deepening of their father-son relationship through frank conversations. Laying there, he realized personal growth wouldn't merely revolve around achieving professional recognition. It was intrinsically linked to fostering meaningful bonds in his life, particularly with Ethan. In the ensuing weeks, both the team and family meetings became the backbone of his new routine. Shapes of confidence and creativity merged as he continued to draw from his mechanical roots, solving issues, facilitating dialogue, crafting ideation sessions that revolved around contributing ideas and embracing vulnerabilities. Jack had finally reconciled his fears with ambition, emerging with solid confidence and competence. The recognition wasn't just in professional accolades, but in moments shared, teaching Ethan problem-solving through their home meeting, empowering him to express fear and triumph alike. It was a legacy of embracing life's mechanics, where challenges transformed into connections. That day, Jack received surprising news from Elijah, a promotion not just extended. He was offered a position to lead a team initiative that emphasized balance between work and family. The CEO's belief in his potential felt like a seasoning of much-deserved recognition. "Jack, you've demonstrated incredible growth," Elijah had stated, acknowledging the synergy between their teams. "You're redefining what it means to lead." With a quiet smile, Jack accepted, aligning his aspirations as a leader with that of a devoted father. In achieving this, he had proven to himself that he could find fulfillment without compromising the core of who he was. Each step taken was a challenge conquered, marking the evolution of an individual ready to claim his narrative, not just in the mechanistic world of engines, but in the intricate art of living. Jack experienced a profound growth that came from the interplay of ambition, responsibility, and heartfelt connection. Now he stood strong. On solid ground, he could finally embrace not just the world around him, but the one he had created for his son, all while shifting from the feared mechanic to a success lived within him, and it was time to celebrate the extraordinary everyday magic of patience, persistence, and profound connection. You need to subscribe now to our channel to stay updated with transformative stories that resonate deeply. Leave a like now to ensure the algorithm carries our incredible content to more aspiring individuals. Now's the moment. Comment below your thoughts and theories about Jack's inspiring journey. And don't wait even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to experience this uplifting conclusion. Your support is paramount.